Hello, welcome to our channel, World Heritage History. This is Bamiyan, a high mountain valley that became a crossroads of cultures and faiths over centuries. Its location along ancient routes tied Central Asia to South and East Asia, shaping language, religion and art. Understanding Bamiyan means tracing empires and pilgrims who left records and monuments carved into the cliffs. We begin with Bamiyan's earliest phase under the Kushan Empire, a power that reshaped the region in the early centuries c. Archaeology and texts place Bamiyan firmly within Kushan influence, where trade and syncretic art flourished. Over time, empires shifted and the valley's political rules would change, but its religious monuments would endure for centuries. The Kushan Empire connected Gandhar, Bactria and beyond, fostering art that blended Hellenistic, Persian and Indian forms. In Bamiyan, craftsmen and monks created monumental Buddha carved into the cliff face and cave monasteries along the gorge. These monumental images reflected both local tradition and artistic currents flowing from faraway capitals. Trade along the valley brought pilgrims, merchants and ideas, turning Bamiyan into a cultural crossroads. Kushan administration offered stability that allowed monasteries to grow and artisans to work on monumental projects. But centuries later, broader geopolitical tides would sweep through the region, altering Bamiyan's rulers and loyalties. As the Kushan dynasties waned, new powers rose. The Sassanid Persians exerted influence across Central Asia. Bamiyan became part of a Kushansha kingdom, a vassal arrangement under Sassanid oversight. Political ties shifted, but religious life continued. Monasteries still functioned and pilgrims arrived from distant lands. These centuries saw continuity and change, new rulers, continued devotion, and the slow evolution of local culture. Importantly, environmental factors like landslides and harsh winters shaped how communities lived and persisted here. Those patterns would be recorded by travelers who visited and left detailed observations centuries later. Two crucial eyewitness accounts help us understand Bamiyan: the 5th century pilgrim Fa Xian and the 7th century monk Xuanzang. Fa Xian recorded visiting Bamiyan in the 5th century and noted that the king summoned monks for prayers. He also observed extreme climate behavior, mentioning landslides, avalanches, and even snow during summer months. Those details suggest significant local climate variability that affected travel, agriculture, and the valley's long-term strategic value. 2 centuries later, Xuanzang passed through Bamiyan and recorded the monumental Buddha and the nearby cave monastery. Yet Xuanzang also observed Buddhism in decline here, describing the people as hard and uncultivated. The Bamiyan Buddha and their caves stood for centuries as expressions of faith, art and contact between cultures. Their scale and decoration reflected a long tradition of Buddhist practice along this corridor of exchange. Over time, political changes and shifting religious landscapes led to reduced patronage and, eventually, decline. Even as monuments weathered, the accounts of Fa Xian and Xuanzang preserved a human record of life here across centuries. Today, historians, archaeologists and travelers return to Bamiyan to read its stones and reconstruct its past with care. Bamiyan's story is one of creativity, faith and resilience. Its fragments invite us to listen closely to a layered past.